The gold here in Osceola was found in 1872. Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We are in Milford, Utah, right in front of the Milford Hotel you can see behind me. And we are on our way to Osceola Ghost Town. But you have to go through Milford to get there. It's got the old Coca-Cola signs. Last time we were here, we were told they're still kind of remodeling this. It's going to kind of take you on a quick tour of the front of this hotel. I'm always just intrigued by it. Absolutely beautiful. Love to see that old neon get going. Right over here is the entrance. I love the front of this. It's got some beautiful stained glass right there too. I'll get closer. The whole front, all those windows are stained glass windows. 1913 H.T. Hanks. Right in the front of the building. Love that stained glass. Needs a little bit of work. A little ornate tin up there. Nice brickwork. But I think this was actually the front doors to go in. With the same tin work there. Coca-Cola. There's always old Coca-Cola signs in these old towns. HM 1913. All right, so we're going to get back on the road and headed to our ghost town location. All right, so we've turned off of Highway 6, the highway of the Old Republic. And we're going to head right up over here as a road, and that's going to take us to the ghost town. But this is Sacramento Pass Recreation Area. That's a place where you can, of course, have horses and things. You can see right here is what it looks like. Place to go to the restroom. A little lake, but this is an area you pull off, and a little trailhead. Restrooms. There's a little lake right over here. Take a look at. But this is right before you head up the gravel road all the way to the ghost town, and it's quite a few miles up. I think we're still about 20 minutes away. Looks like this little place where you can fish or whatever. I almost stepped on a giant lizard. I had to jump there. Scared it out of the bushes. It's about 60 degrees, so still pretty cool. You can see there's some trailers and things off in the distance. Let's take a look at this pond. Little trout swimming right there. Hopefully you can see that in the water. 10 or so inch trout. I wonder if you can, I didn't see anything. I have to read the sign a little better. Might be a place where you can dangle a line in here. Maybe catch yourself a little fish. So Highway 6 will take you all the way to Ely, Nevada. And we're not going to go all the way to Ely today. We're going to go to the ghost town. And we're not going to go in through Ely, but we're going to head back. We're going to go through Pioche. Because it kind of makes this big loop all the way back. So yeah, we'll head back to Pioche and head through that direction on the road from the Sacramento Pass Recreation Area. Well, Google Maps has taken us on a wild goose chase down these fire roads. I can't wait to get to Osceola. See what's left. Said it was taken by fire in the 1940s. So we are driving into the ghost town, and I'm telling you, this road, it's not terrible, but there's some big rocks and things in it. So we've got some ground clearance and all-wheel drive, so we're okay, but at the wrong time of the year, you may struggle getting up here for sure. And it says we're still about 18 minutes away. We are creeping at about, I don't know, maybe 5 miles an hour at times, but most of the time like 2. And the trees are kind of over the path as well. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so we have made it to Osceola Ghost Town. And let me tell you, we have went on many rough roads to get here to where you should probably be in a side-by-side, but all-wheel drive got us through, and we are here. This is one of the old buildings here. It says it is on private property, no trespassing, right on the gate, and that is too bad because I'd really want to get closer, but at the same time, I don't know if there's anybody living here or not. That has been here for a while, for sure. Old trailers, bunch of old cars. This is way in. You can see there's still snow on the mountains behind us, and there is some wind for sure. But we drove through here, getting in, and I'm telling you, that little thing will go anywhere. I've been through snow, freezing in the middle of the night with no tracks on the road, 6 inches of fresh, 8 inches of fresh snow, and that thing will go anywhere. That Subaru can handle just about anything. And these roads here, this is as good as it gets. It's a regular gravel road, but it gets extremely steep and some heavy rock up there. And here's a bunch of old tin buildings over here. And there's some things down the road, but there's the old tin mining buildings here. And it was quite a town at one time. Quite a lot of population. We'll get into that in a minute. Well, let's explore what's on the ground. There's an old truck over here. Somebody's gonna have to help me in the comments. Let me know exactly what this is. Let's get a little closer. Up on blocks, look at that. You know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, my grandfather had this. What? This old Chevrolet that had these windows right here that are almost impossible to find glass for. Part of the motor in there. Some of the parts in the back. Uh-oh. There it is. The old ghost town bed springs. Always on the outside of a building in the ghost town. You can hear the tin slapping around on the roof of that. Take a look at that. That doesn't look in that bad a condition. Was that an old oven? Huh. That ceramic top still lasting. The door has fallen off of this. And the roof is collapsed. And we have never been here before. Transmission? Old sink. More bed springs. And for not being here before, we have no idea what we're going to find. A lot of the pipe and the stuff, I'm sure, is from mining operation. A lot of big stone. You can see the hillside up here. A lot of big boulders and things. Just everything's kind of thrown about. Outhouse? There's an old trailer out here. And the door is on the ground. That has definitely seen better days. There's literally a ghost town tin can pile up here. Because every time we go to a ghost town, there's a pile of tin cans. Right there. The outhouse. There they are. Proving that at one time there was life here. And people were eating out of tin cans. There may be some other structures right up here on top. We'll take a look at that as well. I see some wood up there. Watch for nails. There's a bunch of pieces of wood. In 1905, the population here was around 1,900 people. And you can see now, it's not. And in 1910, there was literally a boarding house here and a school. It was kind of a bustling little community. You know, 1,900 people, and it's literally in a valley. I mean, we're surrounded by hills, and there's some elevation to them because they've got some snow. What's in here? Old gas can, maybe? Couple little buildings. Oh, there it is. Another tin can pile. Now, it didn't say no trespassing on this side of the road. So we're just exploring again for the first time. A little bit newer building. Well, this isn't. This is old construction. But a block building there had some power to it, or still does have power to it. A little screen door, and it might have been somebody's residence. Some old equipment laying around. See if we can find some more buildings. There's an old tractor up the road. Old piece of yellow iron we'll take a look at. And that sign says it all. Oops. And so does that one. So really didn't look much up on this. Saw one little video where a gentleman had came up here with a four-wheel drive. And then I read that it was accessible, you know, by car. But when you're looking at a road like this, you can see the big washes in it. It gets a little bit difficult. So I don't know about a car sedan coming up here without all-wheel drive or some ground clearance. It definitely was, I guess, it had population anyway with people living here. But we're going to go further down the road that way where we're parked. The most buildings we've seen since we've been here. Let's go take a look at that tractor. All right, so here's that, I guess, kind of a tractor over here. 1943. That's when a huge fire came through here and destroyed all the buildings except for a few. You can see some of the trees around, looks like they had caught fire. And there's some stone around for some foundations, it looks like. But for the most part, I guess most of it was gone. Again, with a few little buildings saved down here, and of course that really nice old stone building that we can't get to. It says private property with a big chained gate in front of it. But this looks like, oh yeah, look at this. It's an old Caterpillar. It's just buried in the weeds. Spring seat, big old metal tracks. This thing is here in the weeds, deep in the weeds. Old Caterpillar. And after looking, if anybody knows, is that crank for the motor? Did that turn the motor over? Like a little hand crank right there? That'd be crazy. Maybe it did. I don't know. If somebody knows about that, let me know. Put it in the comments. So the reason Osceola became a ghost town is it consisted of two ditches, the Osceola West Ditch and the Osceola East Ditch. And they were built to convey water from the mountains right over here. And what happened, the mountains were using the water for mining, and the water production was less than hoped. And hydraulic mining ceased in 1900 when the population had declined from 1,500 residents to 100 residents. And then, of course, we have the fire that destroyed most of the buildings. And this is what we have left. The gold here in Osceola was found in 1872. So the heyday, that's when it started. But I guess 1872 was when it was founded and when they found it. So after that, a lot of mining continued, and they pulled, again, about 5 million in gold out of this community, where there's not much left other than a couple old buildings and this amazing road. And there's the look at that big old building. It took us about an hour after we got off the main highway to get to Osceola, where it should have taken us about 18 to 20 minutes. But Google Maps took us down multiple fire roads, and this isn't it. This is the main road. So it was terrible trying to navigate through these roads that look like fire roads to get here. It should have been much more simple. What an adventure. Well, now we know why there are wind farms down below, is because on this side of the mountain, coming from Osceola, the wind is picked up dramatically, and also we found the cemetery. I didn't see this marked, but it is here, and it is windy, so if you can't hear me, I apologize. This is it. Like I say, this was a bustling town at one time, and a lot of folks evidently lost their lives in the area, and they're put to rest right here. Most of these look like early 1900s and born in 1840s, things like that. And a lot of them don't have a headstone, but you can see the outlines in the ground with the stone. But I'm telling you, just coming over the top of that mountain, it has absolutely changed the wind. And again, that's why you see that wind farm down below. Surprised these headstones can even stay up. That's a good wind. And I imagine it gets a lot worse. This one, beautiful work. Look at the ironwork on this. 1827 to 1903, J.T. Scott. Looks like 1898, so 1829 to 1898 on that one. And on the back side of it, doesn't look like there's much out here. But you never know, because you see little spots like that. Over here, I don't see any markers. Now this one right here is hidden under a fallen down tree with some pretty fake flowers on it. And a little headstone where they had stones stacked up. Whew. Kind of breezy. Now, I don't know if it's from erosion or what, but there are some random stones, you know, in the area, but you can't really tell if there's anybody laid to rest here. But the fence, the perimeter's right here where the old fence is, made out of old lodge pines or small pines, whatever you call them. Pinions, maybe. Hope you can hear me. But as they say in the Old West, we're gonna mosey on out of here. That direction. The Charger Wireworks? The Charger Wireworks. Salt Lake City, Utah. That's a pretty one. Twisted steel. Now you wouldn't know it by looking at the shambles that still remain in this ghost town. But like many of them, the fate of mining communities are scattered throughout the silver state of Nevada. It was once a booming prospecting town. And I guess 12 miles of gold-bearing quartz veins were discovered in 1872. A placer mining community took form in the canyon, but Osceola didn't really take off until the 1880s when hydraulic mining began. But sadly, the amount of water anticipated ran out, and the operation fizzled until a large gold nugget broke free from the hills in 1886 that yielded a massive $6,000. But the population dwindled to around 100 and then down from there. And then in the 1940s, a fire took the town. And from a windy location in Nevada, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one. Good old Osceola.